Hi guys, welcome to your first lesson on ChemB Online. Yay! Before we get started, my name is Mr. Tyson. I'll be popping in and out. We're gonna do lessons, like we said, with a lot of different teachers, so you'll get a variety of teachers. Um, Things you'll need for this lesson. If you go to the Google Classroom, there's resources tab. You're always going to want a periodic table. No matter what we're doing, if you want to print it out, it's great. But in class, we have a million of these, but you're going to need one every time. You're for sure always going to want a pencil and paper because we always do problems together as we go throughout the videos. So that's kind of the gist. If you take kind of notes or write dates on the top of your notebooks or whatever have you, or just sit back and watch and kind of write along. So, all right, we'll get started. Today we are going to review how to name. Now, out of trimester A, there's probably one key thing, and that's naming. And we spent a lot of time in Tri A, and some of you haven't had it since November. So that's why we're going to quick do this for 3 days straight. And we just want to brush you up. We don't expect you to be exactly where you're at when you left, but we do need to brush you up so when we run into problems, you're pretty square with that, okay? And if you remember on the periodic table, there is this big stairs line that goes right down the periodic table. The left side of that is all what we call metals, and the right side of that is what we call non-metals. All right, so all these things are metals here, and all of these are non-metals here. When we talk about ionic compounds, we're talking about metals, non-metal complexes. So metals plus non-metals, we're going to combine both those. And there's just some weird little rules that we got to just abide by when we name these. So the first thing that we need to differentiate between is single charged and multi-charged. This will really set the tone for how you name. As you can see, this periodic table has them big, but on your periodic table, how you define what a single charge would be or a multi-charged, anything that just is blank in the upper right hand corner is what we call a single charge. Now all of group 1 has a +1 charge. Okay, all of group 2 has a +2 charge. But if you look at element number 22, Ti, you can see that it's got +2, +3, +4. That's what we call a multi-charged metal. Some of the ones in the middle don't have multi-charge. You take zinc, for example, it's only +2. All right, so that is the differentiator. Is it a multi-charged metal or is it a single-charged metal? That is a key point. And that's a question, the essential question that you really need to ask yourself as you write those things out. Okay, so when we name single charged metals, all right, so what you always got to do is you just got to say, hey, does the metal have more than one charge? So anytime I get a compound like this, what I have to ask myself is, can Na have more than one charge? So I go to my periodic table, I find that Na cannot have more than one charge. Okay, so it is just a single charge metal. That is awesome. So what I do then is simply is this: write it out, element names, don't state how many of anything, don't write any numbers or anything in the name, and add the suffix "ide" to the non-metal. So this one is what you use all the time. It is called sodium chloride. Add the suffix "ide." Now it's chlorine normally, but you drop and add the suffix "ide" to the non-metal. Alrighty, so for these ones, same thing. Okay, all you're going to do is just write out the name. Lithium, it's a single charged metal. Barium, single charged metal. Sodium, single charged metal. Aluminum, single charged metal. So go ahead, take a minute and see if you can just write out those names right now. If I can figure out how to pause this thing. All right, check your answers. There you go. They're all single charged metals. No indication of how many. Notice it's not barium 2 chloride. It's just barium chloride, sodium oxide, aluminum sulfide. So that's kind of the gist with single charged metals. Now we're moving on to what we call multi-charged metals. All right, now these just get a little bit different. Remember, multi-charged are the ones that can have more than one charge. All right, process is this. Write out the elements' names like you did last time. You need to figure out the charge of the metal, so we do what we call crisscross. Insert the Roman numeral, which indicates the charge of the metal, and add the suffix "ide" to the end of the non-metal. Same process, all right? So it's going to be literally the same idea, but the only thing is in the middle, if you remember, we just have these brackets that need to indicate what charge. So right out of the gates, anytime you have to write, you just write copper chloride. I'm not done yet, though, because if you look on your periodic table, this copper is right here, can be +1 or it can be +2. So that is a multi-charge metal. I need a Roman numeral. Alrighty. Now there's a couple tricks. Copper can be +1 or it can be +2. All right. Now the question is, we got to get it, make sure it's equal to 0. Every compound has to have a net charge of 0. Well, what's chlorine's charge? Is this. Chlorine is over here, and it is -1. So if it's -1, all right, if it's -1, which one of these charges will get me to be at plus or at 0? Well, +1 -1 equals 0. The other trick is this. You can always do what we call crisscross. If there's an imaginary 1 that's right here, crisscross. All right, crisscross up to indicate the charge. So my answer would be copper 1 chloride. If you don't remember your Roman numerals are like this. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, I before V is 4. That is it. Alrighty. So go ahead and try these 3 problems now. There you go. There's your answers. Manganese 2 oxide. So this one can be +2, it can be +3, it can be +4. Well, what is oxygen? Oxygen is -2. So which one of these is going to give me equal to 0? It's going to be -2 and +2. We've noticed we don't write Mn2O2. That wouldn't be correct because they can simplify. This one right here, copper can be +1, it can be +2. All right, well, what one is it going to be? Well, -1 is copper or chlorine. Well, which one's going to get me canceled out? Here's the crisscross trick. Take the 2, bring it up, find that it's +2. All right, copper 2 chloride. The Roman numeral pertains to the charge. Same thing down here, crisscross up. So the 3 is going to be +3, iron 3 sulfide. Why do we crisscross? Because if I have 2 of these at +6, that'll be overall, and each sulfur is -2. If you look on your periodic table, that makes it -6. So the crisscross is just a way for us to cancel out the charges easier and faster. All right, so that's a naming review. That's the hard part. The next part is what we call formula writing. Now this process is going to be the same pretty much for single charge and multi-charge. So every time you get a name, you just got to write out the element symbols, write the charge above each element, and then crisscross was what we call it. All right, so sodium chloride. All right, you got Na and Cl. If I find my periodic table, all right, I can find that sodium is +1 and chlorine is -1. All right, so the real question that you have to ask yourself every time is, do they equal 0? If they equal 0, you don't have to crisscross. They equal 0. We're done. All righty. The next thing for formula writing for multi-charge metals, we just write out the same thing. Write out the element symbols, use the Roman numeral as the charge, crisscross, and make sure it's equal to 0. All right, so copper 2 chloride. Roman numeral means that copper is +2. CuCl. Write out the elements, put the charges on there. The Roman numeral told me that it's +2. Chlorine is always -1. If you look on your periodic table right here, chlorine is -1. And then therefore, got off a slide. Therefore, what I can do to get them equal to 0 is what we call crisscross. Never write the ones, and never write the sign. So it's going to be CuCl2. What that does is if I put a 2 there, it can be -2 overall, and it cancels out to 0. All right. So here's Here's 4 examples here of crisscrossing. Go ahead and try those. And there you go. There's your answers. Okay, I'll do a couple with you quick. Barium fluoride. So what I did was I just wrote out the charges. I wrote out the elements, wrote the charge. Barium is +2, fluorine is -1. Crisscross, got my answer there. Okay, Be is a +2 compound, or element, sorry, and nitrogen is a -3. Crisscross, final answer, Be3N2. So the crisscross method's pretty easy. If you just write the charges above. Ti, what you know about that, +2, okay, and all I need to do is crisscross them there. Chlorine's -1, help you out. And iron nitride there. All right, guys, that's your review on lessons. So in summary, here's what you can do. Formula to name. All right, if you're going to go from the formula to the name, the essential question is, can the metal have more than one charge? If it can, if I look at my periodic table and it can be a multi-charged metal, then what I need to do is make sure I have a Roman numeral. If no, just write it out, okay? And that goes back to just checking on the element. Going from the name to the formula, all right? So that means you're going from the name to the formula. We just crisscross, 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 all righty? So if you need the cheat sheet there, great. Now what do I do now? All right, there's a practice worksheet in the Google Classroom. There's about 8 problems. Just do that, check your answers, and then fill out the attendance sheet today. So what we're going to say then is every day you need to complete an attendance sheet. And the attendance sheet is just as simple as this. It's literally as like put your class hour, put your full name first, or excuse me, last, then first. Submit it. Every day you need to do that because we have to take attendance. So there might be a long assignment associated with it. There might be not. In the assignment, all right. Ooh, wrong one. Anyways, okay, sorry for wasting your time there. Yeah, I don't know, there'll be a lot of kinks. Okay, so then go ahead and what you need to do is you need to fill out that attendance sheet, right? And then complete this worksheet right here. There's 8 questions, and then bingo, you don't have to upload it. I just wanted to know that you're doing it. And then there's the answer key, and that is it for the day. Now, going forward to the next, there's also going to be, here's a little schedule so you can get for the first week. Lesson today, lesson tomorrow, lesson Thursday. Just all you gotta do is sit back, watch, do a couple problems, quiz on all this on Friday. All right, so we'll send out more information on that. But outside of that, guys, have a great day. Love you lots and stay safe.